This is the introductory lesson of verbatim testimonial-style shorthand in the method of Pitman phonography, being a free Pitman course. Beyond this lesson, there will be many subsequent lessons based on the most advanced version of Pitman phonography, being New Era. Once all the principles of the system are learned, we will advance to speed studies and specialized vocabularies and phrases. Consider this series of lessons a professional course of Pitman shorthand for learning the system from beginner to the most advanced way to use it, which will be essential for all shorthand speed tests.
Isaac Pitman invented Pitman shorthand, and in 1837 he published his first book on the system, calling it Stenographic Soundhand. Pitman was the most popular shorthand system in England and second most popular in the United States. He was the first to use thickness of a stroke to indicate voice or voiced heavy consonants. Sir Isaac Pitman sent his brother Ben Pitman to the United States to introduce the Pitman system of shorthand. As the official stenographer, Ben Pitman used his system of shorthand in the 1865 to 1867 trial of the conspirators behind the assassination of President Abraham Lincoln. Like Ben, Jacob Pitman was sent to Australia to introduce the Pitman shorthand method.
In this lesson, I will introduce and teach you the origin of the Pitman strokes, which derive from using the arcs of circles, straight, horizontal, and vertical lines, as well as lines at 45-degree and 30-degree angles. Pitman comprises of light and dark or shaded strokes, small and large circles, loops, and hooks, as well as writing half and double the strokes in length, both of which add different sounds. All the strokes represent consonants, and vowels are represented by which position of the line you write them on, being above the line, on the line, or through the line. Although there are separate dashes, dots, and other small signs for vowels, they are rarely used, but only occasionally to use a distinguishing vowel at the advanced level. So let's get started, shall we?
The T and the D are represented by a vertical downstroke. So the T is a light downstroke, whereas the D is a heavy downstroke. The K and the G are represented by a horizontal stroke going from left to right. So the K is a light stroke, and then the G, the heavy stroke. As you can see with the F and the V, they are represented by this curve that is on the lower left portion of the circle. So F will be that curve right there, and then the V will be the heavy version of that curve. For SH and ZH, you'll notice it's on the bottom right-hand corner of the circle. So the SH is the light version, so it's written like this, and then the ZH, heavy, or shaded. The L can be written upward or downward, but with this same upper left-hand side of the circle, that is. And so for L, upward is simply that same stroke. And these are both light strokes, by the way. And then the downward L is basically the same thing, but you're just going down. For the downward R, if you'll notice, it's on the upper right-hand corner of the circle. So the R is just written downward at that angle, a light stroke. The CH and J are represented by a downward 30-degree angle stroke. So the CH is the light stroke, the J the heavy stroke, and then also the downward H uses this same stroke and angle. We'll start with a little circle and then a light downward stroke. The M and the MP are represented by this upward arc. So the M is the light stroke, whereas the MP is the heavy stroke. For N and NG, it is represented by this curve on the bottom of the circle. For N, it is the light stroke. For NG, the heavy stroke. For S and Z, it's represented by the curve on the right side of the circle. So the S is the light one, and then the Z is the heavy stroke, or shaded. The TH sounds like the TH in the word teeth, which is the breathed version, and the TH sound like in the word those is the voiced version. So they are represented by this curve on the left side of the circle. So the first TH is with a light stroke, then a second with a heavy stroke. The letters P and B are represented by this 45-degree angle downstroke. P is the light stroke, and then B, the heavy stroke. The letters R, W, Y, and the upward H all use this upward 45-degree angle. So for this R, it is just a light stroke upward at a 45-degree angle. The W is going to begin with a hook and continue with the upward 45-degree angle. The Y has a hook, but it's tucked underneath, opposite of the W, so it will be written like this. And then the upward H is written with a circle in the beginning, and then of course that upward stroke at the 45-degree angle.
The sounds T and D are both represented by a vertical downstroke as indicated in this circle. So the T is a down light stroke, whereas D is a down shaded stroke. On vowels, the long A is represented by the heavy dot written in the middle of the stroke. So for the word day, we'll write D and then a heavy dot. The short E is represented by a light dot. So we'll write the D again, and then a light dot here. The long O is represented by a heavy dash. So the word toe is the T, and then a heavy dash for the O. And then for the short U, as in the word up, so we'll write the stroke first, the P, and then the light dash represents the short U for up. So for the word take, it is T, K, and then a heavy dot to represent the long A. The word tape is T, and then a P, and then a heavy dot again for the long A. For the word bait, it is the B, and then a T, and then a heavy dot for the A. For the word tame, it is a T, and an M. You get a heavy dot for the long A. For the word deck, it is a D, and then a K, and a light dot for the short E there. The word door, now this can vary depending on what part of the world you're from. In the US, we write it usually on the first line. So this is the D on the line it is, and then an R, and then a heavy dash. For British and other parts of the world like Australia, could be Scotland and Ireland too, you usually write it above the line of the D, then an R, and then using the light dash here in that first position. For the word date, it is a D, then a T, and then a heavy for the A there. And then for the word paid, it is a P, then a D, and then a heavy for the long A. The short forms it and do, the it is just represented by a T on the line, and then a do by a D on the line. The sounds K and G are represented by a horizontal stroke, and the K is a light stroke, and the G is a shaded stroke. So for the word cape, we'll write a K, and then a P, and then of course the heavy dot for the long A. For the word bake, it is B, and then a K, heavy dot. For the word coal, it is a K and an L, and then a heavy dash for the long O sound. The word luck is an L blended in with the K, and then the light dash for the short U sound. For the word goal, it is a G and an L with a heavy dash. Peg is a P, and then a G with a light dot. Jug is a J and a G with a light dash. Get is a G with an a T and a light dot. For short forms, the word come is simply a K on the line. The word give is letter G on the line. The sounds F and V are represented by a curved down stroke as represented here in the lower left quadrant of this circle. So for the word fade, it is F and D, heavy dot. The word faith is F, TH, heavy dot. The word fame is an F, M, again, heavy dot for the long A. Enough is going to be an N and an F with a light dot before the N and a light dash after the N. For the word veil, we'll write a V and then a downward L, of course the heavy dot with the long A. The word vary is a V and then an upward straight R, D. Now here, the long A is the heavy dot here in the middle of the V. For this unstressed long E sound, we'll use a light dot in the third position right before the D. The word verify, it is a V, R, F, for the strokes. For the vowels, the long A sound is going to be the heavy dot in the middle or second position after the V. And the short I sound is going to be in the third position, a light dot. And then the long I for the Y here at the end is going to be in the first position, represented by a small V-looking figure. For the word vote, it will be V, then a T, then a heavy dash for the long O. For the short forms for and have, the word for, it is an F written above the line. The word have is a V written on the line. The sounds SH and CH are represented by a downward stroke that is curved, as you can see here in the lower right quadrant of this circle. So for the word shape, it's going to write the SH, then a P, and of course the heavy dot. The word shore is SH, and R, heavy dash for the long O. Shave, now here we're going to use the upward SH, so it's going to be an SH upward, and then a V downward. Of course, the heavy here. For the word hush, it is the H, and then the SH, and then the light dash for the short U sound. The word regime is an R, and then a ZH, and then an M. For the vowels, a light dot for the short E here, and then a heavy dot in the third position before the M for the long E sound in regime. For collage, it will be K, L, and then ZH. For the vowels, it will be the heavy dot for the long O here, and then a light dash in the first position right after the L here for the ah sound. For the word beige, it is a B and a ZH, and of course the heavy dot for the long A sound. Genre, we will start above the line and a ZH here, and then an N, then downward R. Now for the vowels here, this will be a light dash for the ah sound in genre, and then a light dot in the third position for the short I sound in genre. Now the short forms shall and usually. Shall is simply a SH on the line, and then a ZH on the line for usual and usually. The L can be written with an upward or downward curve, as you can see here in the upper left quadrant. So for the word bulge is B, L, J, and then a light dash in the middle of the B. Load is L, D, and a heavy dash. Male is M, L, with a heavy dot. And then bell is B, and then an L, then a light dot. The word fail will be an F on the line, and then a downward L, and then a heavy dot for the long A sound in fail. The word elk will be the downward L, and then a K, and then a dot right here before the L. Only will be an N, and then a downward L. Until, now here we're going to half the N here so that we can include the T. So it's going to look like this. So a halved N, which will mean NT, and then an L. Now in phrases, the L will represent the word will. So for the phrase I will, we use a small downward tick for the word I, and then an upward L. You will is a U and an L. They will is the thick TH, and then an upward L for will. For the strokes, CH and J are represented by a downward 30-degree angle, CH being the light, J being the shaded stroke. So for the word check, it is CH, K, and a light dot. Change is CH, N, and then a J, and then a heavy dot. The word touch, it is a T, CH, light dash. For coach, it is a K, a CH, and a heavy dash. For page, it is a P, and then a J, and then a heavy dot. For the word joke, it is a J, and then a K, and then a heavy dash. For cage, it is a K, and then a J, and then a heavy dot. For jail, it is a J, and then an upward L. And of course, there's a heavy dot in here. Just put it in here the best way that you can. The short forms which and large. So for which, it is a CH on the line. For large, it is a J above the line. Letters P and B and the sounds are represented by a downward 45-degree angle, P being the light stroke, B being the shaded stroke. So for the word up, we'll write a P, then a light dash in the middle of it, before it. The word hope, we'll write the upward H, then a P, and then a heavy dash for the long O. The word peg, we'll write the P, then a G, then a light dot for the short E sound. For the word cape, we'll start up here and write the K, and then a P, and then a heavy dot there. For the word bake, write the letter B, then a K, and then a heavy dot. For the word bum, it is a B, and then an M, then a light dash for the short U sound. The word rub is going to be an R, then a B, then a light dash. For the word elbow, it's going to be the L, then a B, a light dot before the L, and a heavy dash after the B. The short forms, put, be, and the phrase to be. So for put is represented by a P that is through the line. The short form be is a B on the line. And then the phrase to be is a be through the line. The strokes for M and MP or MB are represented by an arc, as you can see on top of this circle. M being the light stroke, MP or MB being the shaded stroke. So for the word make, it is M, K, and then a heavy dot. For the word came, it is K, M, again with a heavy dot. The word money is M, N, with a light dash and then a light dot here in the third position or near the end of the N. The word home, we're going to use a light downward dash for the H here, and then an M, and then a heavy dash. For the word pump, it will be the P, and then the MP stroke, and then a light dash. For the word embargo, it is going to be the MB stroke, the R, and then a G. We'll put a light dot here, a heavy dot in the first position after the MB stroke, and then a heavy dash for the O sound in embargo. For the word hemp, we're going to use the downward tick here for the H, and then an MP, and then a light dot here. For the word dump, it will be a D, and then an MP, and then a light dash. For the short forms, the word am is an M that is above the line. For him, it is an M on the line. For the words improve, improved, or improvement is an MP stroke on the line. The N and the NG strokes are represented by an arc, as illustrated here on the bottom of the circle. For the word pony, it is P, and an N, and a heavy dash, and a light dot after the N in the third position. The word nail, we're going to start up here because it's going to be a downward L, N, L, and then a heavy dot. The word neck is an N and a K, light dot. Numb is N, M, with a light dash. The word being is B, blend in the NG. Length is an L, an NG, then a TH, and then a light dot. The word king is a K, an NG, with a light dot in the third position right before the NG stroke. The word tongue is T, and then NG, with a light dash. The short forms in or any, both represented by the N above the line. And the word thing is the NG on the line. Both sounds of TH are represented by the curve that is on the left side of the circle. The light stroke being the breathed version, and the shaded stroke used for the voiced versions. So for faith, it will be F, TH, and then a heavy dot. For the word both, it will be B, then a TH, then a heavy dash. For the word month, it is M, an N, and a TH, then a light dash. Thumb is a TH and an M, then a light dash. Now on to the heavy shaded versions of the TH, which is the voiced sound. So bathe is going to be B, the heavy TH, and then the heavy dot. The word this is going to be the TH, and then we're going to write a small circle right there, and that stands for the S. We'll get into circled S's in a subsequent lesson. The word loathe is going to be L, and then TH, and then the heavy dash here. Worthy. Now here also we're going to use another device. The U just standing for the W sound, the R, and then now the heavy TH, and then a light dash here and a light dot there in the third position. For the short forms, the word think is the light version of the TH on line, and then the word them is the heavy TH on the line. The S and the Z are represented by this curve on the right side of the circle. The S being the light curve, and then the Z being the heavy curve. So for the word us, it will be the S, and then a light dash before it. Racy will be the upward R, the S, a heavy dot after the R, and then a light dot after the S in the third position. The word sawmill. Now with this combination here, for this particular sound of A, it is written above the line because of the vowel, so it's in the first position. So for this, we'll write the S above the line, then the M, and then the L. Now here, we'll have a heavy dash in the first position, and then the light dot in the third position. For the word saying, this will be an S, then we'll have an NG stroke, and then a heavy dot here. For the word O's, we'll write the Z first, and then a heavy dash right in front of it. The word lazy, this is going to be an L, and then a Z with a heavy dot, and then a light dot here in a third position. The word zodiac, we'll use the Z, a D, and then a K. For this, we'll have a heavy dash here, and then in the third position here, for this vowel combination, it's going to look like this little set of ticks. We'll get into more of this in another lesson with these letter combinations. For the word zero, this is going to be through the line because the long E is in the third position. So for zero, it is the Z through the line, and then an R going upward. And then for the E sound here, you're going to put it over in the third position before the R, and then the heavy dash after the R. And then the word was just represented by the Z on the line. The sound H. is represented by a downward 30-degree angle stroke with a circle at the beginning. It can also be represented by a downward tick, the same direction and angle. There are two other ways to represent the H, but we'll get into that later in the lesson. So for the word hug, it will be an H, and then a G, and a light dash. The word he is just going to be the H through the line. The word hawk is going to be written above the line. If you remember this vowel here, this sound, AW. So we'll write this above the line. So here's the H, then the K, and then the heavy dash, first position. The word higher, also written in the first position. So we're going to do the downward H, and then the downward R. Then here we're going to do a bit of a tick here to represent the long I in the first position. Onto the tick H, the word home is going to be the tick H and then the M. Now here, since there's so little room to add the vowel, we're going to write it right before the next consonant. So the dark or shaded dash there. And then for the word help is going to be the tick H, and then the L, then a P, and then the light dot before the L. For the word hold, it will be the tick H, the L, and then the D, and then the heavy dash before the L. And then the word hair, it is a tick H, and then a downward R, and then the heavy dot before the R. The short form had and dollar are represented by the same outline, which is the D written above the line. The upward H, the W, and the Y all use this upward 45-degree angle, but with differences in the beginning. So for the upward H, a circle is used in the upward stroke. The W uses a hook on top of the stroke and then going upward. The Y uses a hook underneath the stroke. But for the word hub, it is H and then B with a light dash. Hotel is an H, a T, and an L with a heavy dash for the O, light dot for the E. The word head is H, then D, and then a light dot for the short E sound. And for the word hunch, it is H, N, CH, then a light dash here. For the word wade, it is a W, then a D, and then a heavy dot. The word web, it is a W, and a B, and a light dot. For the word wedge, we'll write a W, then a J, then a light dot. For the word watch, we'll use the first position, W and CH. The reason for the first position, because of this ah sound here, with a light dash in the first position. The word yoke, it is a Y, then a K, and a heavy dash. For yellow, it is a Y and an L, and you'll put a dot here just after the Y, and then a heavy dash after the L. The word yell, it is a Y and a downward L, light dot here. The word yelp is a Y then an L, then a P, and then a light dot here. And finally, the short form we is represented by the W written on the line. The R is represented by an upward 45-degree angle or a downward curve that is on the upper right-hand side of the circle. So for the word rate, we'll write an R and a T and a heavy dot. For the word rug, it will be an R and a G and a light dash. For the word ready, it will be an R and a D, and then a light dot here, and then a light dot in the third position after the D. For the word range, we'll write an R, N, and a J with a heavy dot here. The word early, it is a downward R and then an L, and we'll write the light dot here before the R, and then a light dot after the L in the third position. The word air, it is downward R with a heavy dot before it. The word dare is a D, a downward R, with a heavy dot here. For the word error, it will just be two downward R's, with a light dot before the first R, and a light dash after the first R. Then for the short forms R and your, so the R is the upward R, and then the your is the downward R. And these are both on the line. And now arbitrary sign short forms. The word to will use a downward diagonal light tick on the line. And then of will use a downward diagonal tick light above the line. For the word to, as in TOO and then the number 2, we'll use a heavy downward diagonal tick on the line. All is the same heavy diagonal downward tick above the line. And is an upward diagonal tick written above the line, light. And then should is a light upward diagonal tick written on the line. The word ought is a heavy downward 30-degree angle tick above the line. And then who is the same 30-degree angle downward tick but on the line. The word on is a light vertical downward tick above the line. The word but is the same downward vertical tick on the line. The word he is a heavy vertical downward tick on the line. And then the word O is a vertical downward tick heavy above the line. The word the, when it's by itself, is represented by a dot on the line. And then an A is a dot above the line. The word how will look like a small upside down V written on the line. U will look like an upside down U written on the line. The word beyond is an upside down looking U written above the line. The word with will look like a C, but above the line. The word when will look like a C written on the line. The word what will look like a backwards C written above the line. And then the word would will look like a backwards C written on the line. And finally, Y is a vertical down light stroke with corresponding horizontal light stroke at a 90-degree angle.
Thank you for watching and for your interest in learning verbatim testimonial style Pitman shorthand. Check out my corresponding tutorial videos on shorthand lessons of the various principles of the system, of which the next lesson is first place vowels. I've included a link to it below, and feel free to subscribe to my channel and click on the little bell to receive notifications on new shorthand lesson videos.